2024. At the meeting, the union undertook a dispassionate and comprehensive review of the status of its engagement with federal and state governments on how to reposition Nigerian public universities for global reckoning and competitiveness. The meeting also took a critical look at the working, living, and working conditions in our university and the nation at large. The meeting received alarming reports on the failed promises of the federal and state governments towards addressing the lingering issues that forced the union to embark on a nationwide strike on between February and October 2022. Next, Stanley noted that there are no serious efforts to address the ugly situation. Reports available to NEC indicated that an increasing number of academics has died, while thousands others are nursing life-threatening ailments occasioned by work-related stress, absolute pauperization, and multidimensional insecurity. ASUU calls this press conference to intimate Nigerian members of the fourth estate of the realm, and indeed all Nigerians, of the grave situation our university have been grappling with since Chris Ngige and his collaborators truncated over 5 years of negotiation with the government at a point of signing the negotiation agreement in 2021. As our union has consistently stated, salaries award are no substitute for a negotiated agreement. You know, recently, federal government said they gave 25% award, 35% award to lecturers and professors. For us, in the labor sector and as a union, award of salary is just an award, and you can also withdraw it when it pleases you if there is no agreement. Somebody dashes you something, you can also withdraw it. We believe that there is a need for a negotiation agreement, a negotiated salary. Each negotiated agreement between the federal government of Nigeria and ASUU is a comprehensive package that captures not just salary components, but also a gamut of requirements for benchmarking a competitive university system designed for addressing the economic challenge of Nigeria. ASUU demands for regulated salary and other conditions of service is anchored on International Labour Organization ILO Convention number 98, which underscores the principle of collective bargaining. The last federal government ASUU agreement was in 2009, and in that agreement, both sides agreed that every 10 years there is a need to review this agreement. Now we are in 2024, that is 15 years after, that agreement remains the same. If you look at the cost of living in 2009 and compare it today, you can imagine what has happened to the living standard and what an average lecturer takes home when you compare to what they were taking home in 2009 when the agreement was signed. Consequent upon the union's advocacy, spanning almost 1 decade, our union went into renegotiation with federal government in 2017. We started with Wale Babalaki-led Joint Negotiation Committee, and it failed. Emeritus Professor Tinubu took over when negotiations broke down, owing to Dr. Babalaki's high-handedness and fixation to impose his unworkable anti-worker orientations as terms of agreement. Also, at some point, the federal government dropped Professor Musali Jibril and directed Emeritus Professor Nimi Briggs to take over the negotiation. A drag agreement was reached with the Professor Briggs-led committee in 2021. Unfortunately, agents of the Buhari government refused to approve the draft agreement for reasons best known to them. Dear compatriots of the press, you all remember the role played by the infamous role played by the then Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, in truncating the successful conclusion of the FGN ASUU renegotiation process that lasted for more than 4 years as at that time. The review agreement with Briggs-led government team has remained in its draft form from 2021 and we are in 2024. For more than 3 years, that document with the government, and they have not agreed to sign. One consequence of this anti-labor stand is the aggravated loss of tested Nigerian scholars to universities all over the world, and especially in Africa, where their expertise are better appreciated. A Nigerian professor here earns the equivalent of $300 a month. He goes to a country outside, he earns $5,000. So what will he do? And that's why you are seeing this high capacity done. You saw what happened when Saudi Arabia advertised, and the rush for which our people went to Saudi Arabia. So we use our money to train Nigerians, and then they go to other country because those countries appreciate what they are. Even the pantry salary award, the current take home of a professor at bar at the end is about $500 a month. In the face of a hardening tax regime, what the professor at bar earns and takes home is less than $400 per month, which is scandalous under an undervaluation of the scholarship of scholars. It is therefore not surprising that the Nigerian university system will continue to sink deeper and deeper into crisis of underdevelopment. The symptoms of this festering crisis are there for all to see. Low academic morale, widespread discontent among staff and students, fast diminishing sense of patriotism, manifesting in the Japan syndrome, and many more. For the object time, ASUU calls on President Tinubu-led administration to immediately set in motion the process that will lead to the review and signing of the May Breeze-led renegotiation draft agreement as a matter of goodwill, and a sure move for Nigerian public universities. Nigerian academics are tired of platitude, laced with disdain for intellectuals. Only concrete steps to restore their eroded dignity and degraded lives can guarantee lasting peace on our campuses. Governing councils. NEC observed with dismay the continued erosion of autonomy of universities. Contrary to the provision of the University Ministerial Act of 2009 as reviewed in 2012 to 2093 as reviewed in 2012. The illegal decision of governing council by the Tinubu government and many state governments has paved way for all manners of illegalities in the Nigerian university system. University administration now places advertisement for appointment of vice chancellor without authorization of the appropriate quarter. The only body that can advertise for the position of vice chancellor is the governing council. For more than a year now, you are aware, the government will dissolve in June 2023. We are now in May 2024. The universities are still being run without governing council. Decisions taken illegally, for any decision taken in terms of funding, appointment, and what have you, when there is no governing council, are illegal. And that is what the law says. And that is why the Nigerian university have been running that way for the past 11 months. University admission now plays what I've said that. Outgoing vice chancellors working in cohort with the federal and state ministry of education are illegally running the universities on a daily basis. They routinely usurp the power of the governing council to recruit and dismiss staff, as well as manage university finances in a manner bereft of transparency and accountability. It is therefore stating the obvious to say that these are sorry activities that run contrary to the external laws are compounding cases of corruption in the Nigerian university system. ASUU condemns this anomaly in strong terms and call on the federal government and equally affected state government to respect the laws establishing their universities. Universities are going to be the bastion of democratic ethos and practices. We cannot entrench sustainable democratic rule in Nigeria if universities are run by whims and caprices of individuals, no matter how knowledgeable. We therefore reinstate our demand for reinstating of governing councils whose tenure are yet to lapse. You know, by the law, the only way a government can dissolve governing council is that if they committed crime, they committed friction, and then you can dissolve. But you can't just wake up one day and say, I have dissolved all the governing councils, which is against the law, which is illegal. And that's what you are today, and it has lasted for almost 1 year. And consider those whose tenure have lapsed so that our university can run in accordance with their law. ASUU shall do all within its power to ensure that the dignity of the academia is fully restored in line with practices obtainable in forward-looking like. So Nigeria should hold the federal and state governments responsible if the matter of governing council is allowed to snowball into an unavoidable industrial crisis. There's no university in the world, and I will say it, where any of that will be allowed to run without governing council for even one week. Call it dinner. But now universities, Nigerian universities, all of them, federal universities are running without law, without obeying the law for almost 1 year. And the government seems not to be worried. On any grips on the IPPIS system, competition of the press, it is now public knowledge that IPPIS is a fraudulent platform that inflicted unprecedented hardship on Nigerian academics and corruptly distorted university operation with respect to payroll management. More importantly, ASUU have considered rejected IPPIS because it grossly violates the autonomy of our universities. Unfortunately, we are worried that the grip of IPPIS University is far from being eased more than 4 months after the government mooted the idea of exiting universities and other tertiary institutions from the discredited payment platform. As of today, the salary of our members are still whimsically withheld, just as the third-party deductions such as cooperative contributions, pension deductions, and check-up dues are not released as at when they should be released. Many are still being held as far back as last year. Many of our colleagues' salary are not being paid. Just the last time they paid salary, I had a colleague, unit of one of the universities, a professor was paid just 5,000 naira salary for no reason. And that is what you have as IPPIS. The platform, with all the encumbrances, is still being used to pay our members under the guise of new IPPIS. What we now say, we call it new IPPIS. IPPIS is IPPIS, whether it is new or old. Even when the government has said that with effect from January 2024, universities should be removed from IPPIS. But when you go to our side, you will still be paid within IPPIS. That the Federal Executive Council has said should stop interfering in the Nigerian university system. As to control remain unchanged, government should revert to quarterly releases of university CCMAs. The Commission is unrelenting on enforcing its implementation with effect from current academic session. Almost all universities are being burdened with funding resource verification for migrating from the SY Basic Minimum Academic Standard (BMAS) to the new academic benchmark. ASUU consider developments as infractions that are unhealthy for the Nigerian system. University Senate are the authority recognized by university law to initiate academic programs and award degrees, diplomas, and certificates. The regulatory function of NUC is made to ensure that universities operate according to their law, not according to NUC's whims and caprices, to their law, rules, and regulations, not to bring down the neck of universities. Once again, ASUU calls on NUC to join forces with ASUU effort to address challenges as related with underfunding, understaffing, academic staff turnover, and other more pressing problems affecting quality teaching, learning, research, and community service in our area, rather than talking about BMAS and CCMAS. Proliferation of universities. Our dear compatriots, as you are probably aware, the matter of proliferation of universities was one of the issues that led to the state series of strike action between 2020 and 2022. You did not demanded and still demand that 2020 ASUU a memorandum of action, which stressed the need to review the NEC Act to make it more potent in arresting the reckless and excessive establishment of university by many universities. During the lifetime of the last legislative session, a joint committee of ASUU and NUC submitted a draft bill to the National Assembly on this matter. However, that bill did not see the light of the day. The fallout from that is the reckless manner by which both the federal and state government are going to pronounce universities without preparation for their funding. This recently came to an worrisome height when the city governor peacefully declared that he will establish 10 universities during his tenure. A state that cannot fund one, you want to establish 10, and that will be your achievement. Nigeria boasts of Nigeria boasts over 170 universities, comprising 79 that are owned by individuals and private organizations, 43 by federal government, and 48 by state governments. However, even with this number, where you have more private universities than public university, if you check the admission rate, as of today, about 95% of Nigerian students are still in the public universities, with less than 5 minutes in these multiple private universities, which underscore the imperative of prioritizing the federal and state universities in Nigeria. However, rather than supporting our advocacy for adequate funding of public universities, each senator is surreptitiously pushing for the establishment of a university as part of their constitutional project, while visitors to state universities who could not fund the existing one are busy creating 2 or more purely for electoral gains. We are told if you go to the National Assembly, virtually every senator have a bid for a university, and you are not thinking about how to fund what you already have. This trend has put more stress on intervention fund or debt fund, which are diverted to establish new university contrary to the Funds Act. ASUU shall implore all legal means to resist all the pervasive move by politicians to keep proliferating centers, crisis centers for the children of the poor in the name of universities. We urge the President Tinubu-led administration to refrain from further proliferation of universities and refocus on the funding and sustainable development of the one that already exists. What we need are universities that are adequately empowered to address challenges confronting Nigeria and stand shoulder to shoulder with their peers elsewhere in the world, rather than mushroom glorifying high school. Funding of universities. Over the years, ASUU's engagement with successive government on funding of public universities has been predicted or scientifically established benchmark of formal budgetary requirements for education. Lately, the United Nations Fund for Popular Activities specification of 15 to 20% additional budget for the underdeveloped countries like Nigeria has been advocated by our union. However, there was no year in the last 10 years when allocation to education as part of national budget is up to 10%. The average, if you look at the average, is about 5 to 6%. ASUU declared a deliberate and continued underfunding of state and federal universities because it degrades the capacity of institutions and further underdevelop the country. If you check it, just Google it, check the budget allocation to education in Africa. The least country giving the least budget is about 15%, but we are giving between 5 and 6. And you can see why you are in the status of what you have today. The federal government recently decided to further reduce the resources available for TED fund intervention by channeling the fund available to the agency to the students' education loan scheme. This is antithetical to the original mandate law establishing TED fund, which now operates as we call it ETF, which now operates as TED fund. Grants from TED fund as an intervention agency should not replace adequate and regular budgetary allocation by federal and state government for capital and recruitment expenditure in public university. So NEC joined the federal government not to divert TED fund resources to funding loan so as not to water down the impact of its intervention. In addition, federal and state government should rise to their responsibility of adequate funding to arrest the emergent rot and decay that are becoming more noticeable in the campuses of Nigerian public university in spite of the intervention effort of TED fund. Creeping fascism in some Nigerian public universities. We wish to once again call attention to the unending crisis at the Kogi State University, Ayimba, where more than 130 of members have been sacked for more than 6 years now. Ebonyi State University, where the chairman of our branch has been sacked for no reason, even when there was a court judgment reinstating him, this university refused to obey that judgment. Lagos State University, Ojo, Ambrose Ali University, Ekoma, Federal University of Technology, Futo, Chukwuemeka Odunugu University, Igbariam, and others, where our members have been illegally sacked and the salary we had for unjustifiable reason. Justice delay is justice demand. ASUU is particularly disturbed at the seeming travesty of justice in the judgment delivered against our members at the Kogi State University, Ayimba, after 7 years of waiting. Without doubt, the undue elongation of the court proceedings has created undue hardship for our members who were unjustly sacked. We are equally dissatisfied at the development at Ebonyi State University, whereas they implement the